Hi everyone, welcome back to 2025. My name is Mher from Newfoundland and Labrador, and today I have the privilege to interview Grant Sundbye from Kansas. Hi Grant, how are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. How's it going, everyone?
How everything is okay? Thank you for being here.
Hmm.
Grant lived and worked in Korea from 2016 till 2018 and was very
Hmm.
inspired by the passionate, hardworking people he met. He believes
Absolutely.
that they deserve careers where they've been valued. So he started his career business in 2020 to help Koreans elevate their career globally. Since 2020, he's worked over 300 clients, helped clients get jobs in 14 countries, wrote a book on business that was published in three countries. So welcome, Grant. So my first question for you is why it is important to identify your personal values, who you are, before applying to any job.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it all comes down to the entire reason you would get hired
Hmm.
as as a candidate. It's not just why should we hire you from the company's perspective.
Hmm.
It's why should we hire you instead of everybody else?
Yeah.
And I think that all starts with your unique value proposition. No
Hmm.
great company is going to hire you because you're exactly like every other candidate.
Correct.
And so before you worry about your resume, before you're planning what you'll say in an interview, really get clear on what unique value do you bring to the table that's it could be more than other candidates.
Hmm.
It could be something you have in your background that maybe other candidates don't have. Whatever would make you stand out and be memorable, that is what is most likely going to ultimately lead to you getting the job you want. So it's really important to figure out what those things are before you start mass applying or interviewing, because ultimately that's going to be what companies want to see the most.
And is there any assessment tools or things on the website or online that job seekers can do to identify those values?
I'm not sure about tools, but there are definitely some frameworks that I use with my clients
Mhm.
to help us get clear on those values. And so there are three things that I tend to focus on
Mhm.
when we're creating what is my client's unique value proposition. Number one, results and achievements.
Yeah.
And I am sure if you're listening to this and you've been in the career coaching scene a while, you've been watching videos, everyone talks about measurable results,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that, but I'm going to talk about some things that maybe aren't as highlighted that I
Mhm.
think can be very powerful. So if you talk about a result or a performance or a rating that you achieved, and if you can add some context to that, what is the company average? What is the industry average? That could be something that sets you apart.
Mm.
For example, I'm working with a guy right now. He's applying to medical programs. And he had 1 year of clinical rotations where he worked at 9 different hospitals. And he was saying that it was really hard for him to find something unique from that experience because it's so similar to what everybody else did.
Yeah.
And so I was asking him, do you get any type of rating, any type of performance review from the hospitals? Turns out he did, and his score was pretty good. Overall, for the 9 hospitals, he got a 4.8 out of 5.0. And so, of course, my next question was, what is the industry average? What was your entire med school classes average?
Mm.
Turns out the average was only 4.2.
Oh, wow.
So now he has something unique. He
Yeah.
has proof that he did this on a level better than everyone else. He got the 4.8, the industry average is a 4.2.
Yeah.
So I think results with context can be
Hmm.
very powerful if that's comparing to the company's performance last year, the industry average, anything like that. Another thing, people talk about results over actions, how you don't just need to, you have to talk about your results. Don't just talk about the actions you did. I agree with that, but I think there is a caveat. If you did something, if you performed an action that went above what was expected, if you did something to kind of go the extra mile in a project, or if you presented an idea, if you had some sort of proactive thing you did, I think highlighting that and then connecting it to that measurable result can be really powerful as well.
Mm. Those are,
As another example of this, one of my clients who got a job in London as a UI UX designer, previously she had helped update a company's application in Seoul. It was a social networking app. It had about 55,000 users when she was in charge of completely renovating it. And the main thing that we talked about was how she doubled her updated version. It doubled the user acquisition rate. They
Mhm.
were gaining a set number of users every month. After she renovated the app, that number doubled.
Yeah.
But what I think really set her story apart and what ultimately led to her getting a job was what she did to make it double.
Mm.
So essentially the app was a social meetup platform where people with different hobbies, different interests could
Mm.
all meet together and do activities throughout Seoul, which is a massive city. It's bigger than New York City. So there's a huge network, a huge market for that. And rather than just studying some numbers, she actually went to a bunch of club events every weekend. Every weekend, she would go to at least one of these for months. And she met with the users personally and kind of hosted her own unofficial focus groups where
Yeah.
she talked to them face to face at the events. What do you like about this app? What would you like to see change in our service? And she got a bunch of in-depth data that she never would have had if she didn't take that initiative.
Yeah. The
And
extra mile.
so we shared that story of what she did to go the extra mile because nobody told her to do this. Her
Yeah.
boss didn't tell her it was her idea
Yeah.
and how that led to innovation at her company. So for your measurable results with context and with extra mile actions that show what makes you special, that can be really powerful. The second way to sell yourself is just being a good cultural fit,
Yeah.
seeming likable, and a lot of that comes down to just basic social skills, but always say thank you. Make people feel appreciated anytime they respond to you on LinkedIn, anytime they give you an update on what's happening with your the hiring process. Make sure you're able to explain why you care about your work in a way that's unique. Don't just don't just give a generic I'm passionate about X
Yeah.
industry. Talk about why you feel that way. Why do you think your work is important for the world, for serving people in society? Maybe give a story, an example of a project that you're really proud of and how that best shows why you love the work you do. Or maybe talk about what first inspired you to choose that job or that industry. And the third thing that you need is interest
Yeah.
and preparedness. Nothing says I don't care, like not having questions and not knowing anything about a company when you're in an interview, especially if it's near the end.
Yeah.
And I completely understand that a lot of job seekers, they're very overwhelmed. It's a very competitive, very harsh market right now. And so there is a tendency to just blast your application
Mm.
out there to everyone. I think the best approach is a mix of quality and quantity. You don't need to spend 8+ hours researching a company at the very beginning,
Mm.
but take 15 minutes, get a little bit deep into the company website, maybe look at some videos on YouTube, on the company careers page, maybe an interview with the CEO. Find a few unique things about why you would be excited working there.
Yeah.
Mention those in your networking messages, mention them in your application. And then as you get interviews, you can do more and more research to be more and more prepared.
Mm.
But the more you know about the company, the better they're going to see you because that really shows a level of commitment before you've even gotten the job.
Those are
So I
great.
would say those three things
Those three
are the
things.
best way to show your value.
Those are great things, Grant. Thank you very much. So, for the audience watching or listening, I'm going to ask Grant a couple of questions and I'm going to post them on a daily basis. Kind of a journey with us the whole week. You can like, share, and comment. So, tune in next time for another great question with Grant.